Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study more, no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study more, no more, no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study more, no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study more, no more, no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study more, no more. two, her eyes are blue. Oh, what those 5 foot could do. Has anybody seen my gal. Turned out no, never had no other no. Anybody see my gal? Now if you run into all kinds of diamond rings, all those things, that is her, but she moves, yeah, but she moves. Anybody see my gal?
No, I live up in Sipori, up in Galilee. Okay, and I'm here for this special occasion.
Run into a 5'2", all covered with fur.
You'll be great.
Diamond rings, all those things. You bet your life that isn't her, but could she love, could she woo? Oh yeah, could she goose? Anybody see my gal?
Okay, so Mitch, I want you to imagine Donald Trump is watching this right now. What would you say to him?
I want to say, President Trump, you've created a new Jewish holiday, okay? Because today is a Jewish holiday. No matter however you look for it, you know, it means for us an optimistic, possibly a good future compared to what we've suffered for the last few years under previous administration.
And what are your hopes for President Trump during his time?
Well, as an American, or as a former American, I hope he finally puts America back into order. The kind of madness that has taken over the government, the lawlessness, the no borders, the crime. I hope he understands, you know, these things have to end, you know, to give America, you know, for America to take leadership of the world, America has to be stable itself first. And, of course, on the other side, you know, because, you know, all what we're going through, a year and a half of war coming on, I hope that, you know, the projection of American strength that Trump can bring can help to bring us peace with our enemies.
And what effect do you see Trump having on the state of Israel?
Well, look, it's finally Trump and the people he are bringing in are people who are sympathetic to Israel and sympathetic to the Jewish people. Okay, this is something we did not have recently. I mean, these people, you know, could barely conceal their hostility to us. And with Biden and the people denying Israel arms shipments over the last year and a half and forcing us to give what they called humanitarian aid, which was really just aiding our enemies, managed to prolong the war and got, you know, hundreds of, you know, Israelis killed. Hopefully these common sense has finally come to the American government and things will be different.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Mitch.
Pleasure. You know, God bless Donald Trump.
God bless. Thank you. Looking at me. Yeah, you'll look at me. Okay, so Naftali, can you, if President Trump were watching this right now, what would you want to say to him?
I would say don't forget about Israel. Israel had your back, and we want you to watch out for Israel. We want to get all the hostages back, not just 3, not just 6, everyone, and we're counting on you. We trust you, and we know you're going to do the right thing.
So what are your hopes for Trump's presidency?
To make peace in the world, to have Ukraine and Russia come to an agreement, and especially to increase the love that everybody has with the Jews, and the accords, Abraham Accords, should increase, and we should just have peace among all nations.
And so do you see those hopes materializing?
Definitely. We're counting them. There's no question about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
For the bare necessity, simple bare necessity. Forget about your worries and your strife. I say those bare necessities, love your neighbor to be in the bare necessity of life. Wherever I go,
If you had, imagine Trump was watching this right now, what would you say to him?
First of all, how do you know he's not?
He will be. He will see this.
And what would I say to him for watching? Say thank you for fighting for America. Thank you for defending Israel. Thank you for being entertaining and making politics fun again.
And what are your hopes for Trump's presidency?
I hope he gets the country back on track financially, that we can get some semblance of responsibility, but that people in America can have fun again. Make America fun again. It's been dismal for a while. Go ahead.
No, you can continue.
No, you go.
Do you think that these hopes will come to life?
Yeah, I think something will happen. Look, in the end, we believe that a God runs the universe. And if God intended for Trump to be president, there's a reason. And God doesn't let anything happen that's not good. Right? Things we may think are not good, people may think are not good. But if God allows it to happen, it's ultimately for the good. And so if Trump's president, that's ultimately for the good.
Tanji, thank you so much.
You got it, baby. Thank you so much. Good times. Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course it was. It's what I do.
Oh, it is?
I'm a rapper.
Oh, you just dropped that whole thing for us.
A lot of people professional. Good to meet you, Ariella.
Good to meet you.
Wherever I wander, wherever I go, I can be fonder of my sweet home. Bees are buzzing in the trees to make sweet honey just for me. You look under the box and glance out, take a glance at the fancy handstands, maybe try a few. Yeah. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Yeah, bare necessities of life will come to you. Yes, sir. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Oh, yeah. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that little fire? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with my boots on parade. Now I'm not afraid. I know the smoke crawls over with my river. I even tried Rockefeller. Oh, dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street.
Okay. First of all, hello. Thank you for joining me.
It's my pleasure and my honor to join. Yeah. My name is Rosetta, and I want to make a confession. The election day, it was my birthday, the 5th of November, and it was not a usual birthday. It was my 70th birthday. So really, as a birthday girl, all day long I prayed to Donald Trump to win the election. And it happened. It was the best gift of my 70th birthday, really. And I'm so happy. And I love him very much, and I am sure that he's going to make America great again, because really we are a bit not good right now. And I hope that he will have the strength and the power to make the world better again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, first off, just tell me your first name. Who are you?
I'm Stu. I live in Beit Shemesh. I've been here 17 and a half years and dual citizen. And this balagan here is a little un-American, but we're dealing with it. Now, I'm very happy that Trump won. I think he will secure America in many ways. And I think by securing America, I think it'll be a great advantage to the state of Israel as well.
What do you want him to do for the state of Israel? What would you like to see him do in the next 4 years as president of the U.S.?
Well, I'd like him to make sure that armaments do not get frozen, which I think he already committed to do. And I think that providing Israel with the political cover that Israel needs in the international community, which has really taken a hit more than usual. And I think he's just been very supportive in general. But we can't abuse that relationship either. And I think that I think there would be a good understanding between him and whoever remains in power in Israel, whether it's Likud or anybody else. They have to take advantage to accomplish certain things that Israel can accomplish internationally while he is president.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That's okay. Appreciate it. Here in Jerusalem. Long lines for food as well. A lot of people are sending their message about what they would like for this, the new administration, President Donald Trump's administration, to do in the next 4 years of his presidency. And we're continuing to hear what people have to say and talk to them about what it's like being in Israel and what they want to see President Trump's administration do for Israel in the next 4 years.
That sounded great.
Thanks.
Let's find another one.
Okay.
I don't speak so well English, only.
Shalom. Okay, great. Okay, so tell me who you are and where you live. What are you doing at this event?
So my name is Zach Pearson. I live in Nachlaot here in Jerusalem. I've been here for 11, 12 years almost, since 2013. And I'm here because I support America and I support their president. They voted for Donald Trump, and I think he's going to make America great again, and I think that's great.
What do you think the biggest difference will be once President Donald Trump is in office when it comes to the state of Israel?
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping that there's going to be good things. Personally, I think he hasn't started off on the right foot, but I'm hoping that that will change. I think that it was a mistake to release all those terrorists that we released, but I do have high hopes that things will improve, and I do think it'll be much, much better under Trump than under Biden for sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Really appreciate it.
Sure. I'd be happy to.
Can we do both of you?
I'm not American and I'm not going to have anything with my I am and I do.
Which is so good. You're not American?
Are you filming me already? Is that Yannick? She's also not American. You should film Chaya.
We will talk to Chaya. Why you decided to come out tonight?
Well, I am a very big Trump supporter. I voted for Donald Trump. I was so delighted with the previous administration and unfortunately very disappointed in the last 4 years. So I'm just so thrilled to be a part of a small gathering to welcome him back to the White House. I believe that he's such a true friend of Israel, and when he was in office previously, he really fulfilled his word, his campaign promises, and that is who we really need in the White House. I'm very passionate about that. Like I said, a real friend of Israel, and I'm just delighted to be a part of it.
So Donald Trump is coming into a very tense Middle East. Israel has fought several fronts over the last 15 months. What would you like to see him do once he steps into office in the Middle East?
I'd like him to continue to be a real friend of Israel, and not just with words, but with actions. I believe very strongly that he and his staff were instrumental in this ceasefire deal, and I think that when he says things that when he says things like "we will get this done," "we will do this," "we will do that," he does. So I'm expecting him, and I'm hopeful that he will be the close friend of Israel and bring together so many different personas together and help us achieve a more peaceful Middle East and a better tomorrow here.
Is there a priority that you would like for him to see, a priority for you, something that you would like him to do specifically?
Yes, absolutely. I expect him to help bring our hostages home and to eradicate Hamas so that we will not live in such a terrorist-fueled region anymore. I think economic development, he certainly was involved with the Abraham Accords. I think that can continue again, a more peaceful and prosperous Middle East and a closer friendship between the United States and Israel.
Amazing. Thanks so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Okay, Benji, I want you to imagine President Trump is watching this right now. What would you have to say to him?
First of all, a big thank you for his efforts for bringing home the 3 hostages and for all his efforts throughout the war and what he's done while Biden's been president still to push for Israel, and so too for what he's going to do in the future days coming.
Okay, so what are your hopes for his presidency?
To bring stability to the world, to Israel, to Ukraine, to end the political crisis across all the different countries, and to return all the hostages, and to just bring a sense of unity and stability throughout the whole entire Middle Eastern crisis and so on.
And do you think he has the ability to bring these hopes into fruition?
Definitely. I think he's got lots of power, and America as a whole, it's a superpower and has the ability to lead the world and change the world for the good.
Benji, thank you so much. Thank you.
just ask me one question, Max. What's the whole bit? Josh.
Look at me, ready? Okay, Josh, if President Trump were watching this right now, what would you have to say to him?
Oh, that's a massive, massive question, but I would just I'd really like to thank him for the tremendous amount of work that he's doing for the state of Israel and for the world. In fact, he's just an unbelievable president. He's a great leader, and he's going to change the world that we live in today.
Please go. Look at me. Ephraim, if President Trump were watching this right now, what would you want to say to him? Yeah. Okay.
If President Trump were to watch me right now, I would tell him we have to make Gaza great again, make America great again, make Israel great again. I fought 6 months in Gaza, and I saw the worst of mankind. And thank God for Trump, because he's going to make the world a safer place.
And what are your plans for him whilst he's in presidency? How do you see him making the world a safer place?
So when I was in Gaza, I saw the most anti-West ideology, and the United States had a different side, which was pro-Gaza, and we cannot have a country protecting Gazan values. We must bring Western values into Gaza as well, and please God, make it a better place.
Please, God. Thank you so much.
Delete that one, it's a bit political.
Are you like...
Okay. Okay, so we are with Malki here. Malki, tell me who you are.
I am a normal Jew. I'm living here in Israel in the place that it's named Merkaz Shapira. It's near Ashkelon. And I was here at when Trump get the message that he will be the president on the first time. And I am very happy because I think that President Donald Trump will be very good for us. We are in a very big trouble. We need a lot good people who will help our people, Jew around the world, and except the country of Israel. And I believe that if it is somebody who can do it, it's only Donald Trump.
What do you want to see Donald Trump do in the next 4 years here in the Middle East?
In the next 4 years, I want that Donald Trump will help us to make shalom with countries surround us, because it's very difficult to live in a place that all the time it's only מלחמות, נו, איך אומרים מלחמה? war. And I want that the war will stop. And then I believe that he can do it. And that's the real point that I want to him to make it.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Here, and there are different messages of what they want to see President Donald Trump do in the next 4 years here in the Middle East. Specifically, one person mentioned they'd like to see President Donald Trump get more of the hostages back. They say he and his Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, have been significant in terms of getting this deal secured to bring part of these hostages home that we are seeing released. We just had three female hostages released on Sunday. We're expected to see more hostages released soon. And a lot of other people saying hopefully we can stop all of the different fronts Israel is facing around the country when it comes to war with Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, the Houthis. And that's what they would like to see, peace in the Middle East here.
over top. It's so nice to have that baby all. You're looking swell, Dolly. We can tell, Dolly. The blower, you're still growing, you're still growing strong. I feel the room.
Okay, so first off, just tell me who you are.
My name is Ron Kenter. I live in Jerusalem. I work in the Prime Minister's office, and I would like to take advantage of this event to congratulate Donald Trump and to thank him for his unwavering support to the Jewish people sitting in Zion and for free the hostages yesterday and the next one to come.
What would you like President Donald Trump to do in his next 4 years as president in the U.S., specifically in the Middle East?
Well, we know that Donald Trump, as we know him before, will continue to support the Jewish people. He will do whatever he can to continue the peace process, the Abraham Accord, and maybe global peace with our neighbors. Contributing to and foster a better future for the next generations to come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it. So as you can hear, there are some people with different thoughts about Donald Trump becoming the president and what it could mean here in the Middle East, specifically for Israel and the greater Middle East when it comes to the surrounding countries that are around Israel. Like we said, some people spoke about Trump's first thing that he helped with, which is securing this hostage deal and making sure that the hostages do come home. He was able to implement and use his Middle East envoy to help secure this deal in negotiations. We saw these hostages first come back to Israel yesterday on Sunday, and we are expecting more to come home on Saturday. Now, more people say they'd like to see more peace. The Abraham Accords continue when it comes to making more friendly relations with countries that surround Israel. They'd like to see normalized ties between Israel and other countries to ensure peace in this Middle East for everyone in the whole region.
Okay, so Avi, if Trump were watching this now, what would you like to say to him?
What I would tell him is that I deeply believe that the United States of America has been given guidance by God and success, partly because of what it does for the rest of the world. Sometimes the rest of the world is not so gracious in gratitude. They don't understand, but we know why we're doing it, and especially when America stands behind Israel. We have In God We Trust on all the money, and the American dollar is still the strongest in the world, and partly it's because God blesses America, because America protects Israel.
Absolutely. And what are your hopes for Trump's presidency?
Well, it's hard to say because in the last maybe 15 years or so, 20 years, things have been going downhill in various ways, different wars and different situations and an axis of evil and so on. So hopefully, first, that he can put his hand on the lid and prevent things from getting worse. That itself, I think, would be a really, really big achievement. I hope, and the signs are such that maybe this will in fact be the case, that things will actually start getting better.
And what effect do you think his presidency will have on Israel?
I think that there are various aspects of Israeli foreign policy vis-a-vis Hamas, vis-a-vis Iran, vis-a-vis Lebanon, which are actually for the benefit of the people there. And unfortunately, progressives and others in the world have not understood that. The people keeping down those populations are the ones spreading vicious propaganda about Israel and America. And what would be best for Lebanon, for actual Lebanon, not for Iran and Hezbollah, but best for Lebanon, is also best for Israel. What would be best for Gaza, a really thriving economy, peaceful, with relations with Saudi Arabia and the UAE and so on, and various European powers, is also best for Israel. But unfortunately, the world, the Europeans, have missed the opportunity. There's a little tiny place in Gaza. They could have made it into a great thriving place, but instead it seems like they're committed to keeping Hamas in power. And Trump, I hope, will be strong enough to prevent that, not only for the benefit of Israel, it's for the benefit of the people of Gaza, and certainly overall something that the American people will want.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Now I can go back.
Can you tell me, if President Trump were watching right now, what would you have to say to him?
I'd want to say, President Trump, thank you so much for being president, and thank you for helping us here in Israel.
And thank you for helping us bring back our hostages, President Trump. Thank you.
And what are your hopes for Trump? What are your hopes for Trump's time in presidency?
More than anything, I want President Trump to not pressure us to give back even 1 inch of land, because all the land is ours, and it's ours. We shouldn't give any of it back.
That he'll help us get back all of our hostages.
Please, God. Thank you both so much.
Thank you. Thank
singing. You're gonna miss my kisses. You're gonna miss me, baby. When I go away, you're gonna be so lonely. Just only. You know, honey, you had your way. And if you leave me, you know it'll grieve me. I'm gonna miss you, little baby. I'm gonna miss you, little baby. I'm gonna miss you, little baby. Yeah, some of these days.
Welcome to the Friends of Zion, an ILTV news event celebrating the inauguration of U.S. President Donald Trump. I'm Lidar Grave-Lazi, an ILTV news anchor, and it's an honor to be your host for this evening. At 7 p.m., we'll pause the program to watch history in the making as Donald Trump is sworn in as America's 47th president. Afterwards, we'll continue to our panel of experts, and then don't worry, we've got plenty more delicious American treats for you, along with an incredible concert by the Solomon Brothers. And it's no coincidence that today we're holding this event in the beautiful media center of the Friends of Zion Museum, which was established by Dr. Mike Evans and has been involved over the years in countless diplomatic and advocacy events. One of the most significant among them was the relocation of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem following President Trump's decision recognizing it as the capital of Israel. Just outside the hall, you can see a sign commemorating the relocation of the embassy. For those who exit later, you can take a look. It's part of this historic event the Friends of Zion Museum had the privilege to host former U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and former Vice President Mike Pence. And beyond that, in this very auditorium, the museum recently hosted weekly happenings for evacuees from the North and South. And this is, of course, in addition to the ongoing activities with Holocaust survivors, security forces, widows, and orphans, demonstrating a deep commitment not only to the local community, but to Israel and to the Jewish people. And I would also like to extend thanks to the incredible ILTV team who helped make this evening possible and are here with us tonight. A special acknowledgement to our CEO, Tom Sadak, our executive editor, Maayan Hoffman, news anchor, ILTV's news anchor, Emily Schrader, and our dedicated anchors and correspondents, many of whom are available tonight. Maybe you've seen them and you can interview with them this evening. And before we continue the program, I would also like to take a moment and welcome back home Romy, Emily, and Doron from Hamas captivity. After 471 days, the 3 Israeli hostages that were kidnapped on October 7th have finally returned home. We hope and we pray for the safe and swift return of all the remaining hostages. And now, we're honored to welcome Israel's Deputy Foreign Minister, Sharren Haskel, for a discussion with ILTV news anchor, Emily Schrader.
Hello, everyone. Wow, what a crowd. Exciting days. Finally, we have a few positive things in the span of even 24 hours, something to celebrate after many, many difficult months and, of course, many more to come. We're not done yet, but at least we've gotten started. I know we don't have very much time, so I want to thank you, Deputy Foreign Minister Sharren Haskel. It's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you.
I wanted to start by asking you, Trump is coming into office, as you all know, at a time of great regional chaos. I'm wondering what you expect to see or what actions you'd like to see from the next administration when it comes to this region.
So first of all, there's expectations, but I think most of all we are very happy for his inauguration because Trump's last term has proven to be, he really, truly is a true friend of Israel. He loves Israel at heart. But, you know, in our days in politics and in diplomacy and with all of the world challenges that we're facing, it's not always enough. And you have to surround yourself with a team that loves Israel and understand what Israel means here in the Middle East to America. And in his last term, and I have to say, Mike, who's a really dear friend of mine, and the first time that we've met was Trump's last inauguration at the event that you've had. And there was this incredible feeling around, right? And everybody could feel it. And you sat for all these years with the Trump Evangelical Advisory Board. And his heart and mind were open to listen to the love and the friendship and the message, the biblical message, the historical message that you channeled through this advisory board to his actual people that work through the State Department and in the Foreign Affairs Department. And that truly makes a huge impact. It makes a huge impact on the attitude towards Israel, because what we've experienced in the last year, this was, Israel's extremely challenging year. This has been a serious... what about the YACM song? It's, it's been such a difficult year for us, going through the worst massacre in Israel's history. And we've seen true allies who stood beside us during this time. And I'm absolutely certain that Trump is going to be proved as an ally and a true friend of Israel, like his last term, where he stood beside us. And so, we're coming in, and the fact is that even before he was inaugurated, he already made 2 major changes towards Israel's attitude. One of them was with a pressure and a red line that is set up for the Lebanese for the first ceasefire. And the other one, we saw the result yesterday, where there wasn't a dry eye in Israel, I think through the entire world, with our allies and our friends.
Absolutely. Well, obviously one of the most pressing issues that we're facing in terms of security and diplomacy is the Islamic Republic of Iran. We know that President Trump has been very, very strong on Iran with the maximum pressure campaign. They've already said they're going to do maximum pressure 2.0. What does that look like? Do you think that Israel and the U.S. are really on the same page when it comes to battling against the Islamic Republic of Iran and its proxies?
Iran's challenge, is not about Israel. It's about the world's stability, and mainly about America. And he gets it. I believe he gets it. Because, look, here in Israel, we are called the little devil. The big devil is America. And it is not about a territorial conflict. It is a religious and a cultural conflict about world Islamic dominancy dominated by Iran. And don't fool yourself. What you see here in Israel, this is the front line of the Iran war. But it's not limited to the Middle East. They are seeking pockets of instability around the world. And wherever they find pockets of instability, they infiltrate in, create chaos, through the economy, through politics, through the media, and they take over. They did it in the Middle East, in Lebanon, in Iraq, in Yemen,
in Iran.
In Iran. And they are doing it all around the world. We see them doing it in Africa. We see them doing it in Central and South America. Hezbollah, which is the army of Iran, is controlling the main illegal drug and weapon trafficking routes in Central and South America. Why are they there? That doesn't pose a threat to Israel, but it poses a threat to America. And it's not just Trump, but the people who surround him are people who have their eyes wide open and are aware that Iran is not an Israeli issue. They are the enemy of the free world, of democracy, of nations that yearn freedom and liberty.
All right, well, we do have only one more minute. I know we have very, very limited time. I could sit here and talk all day to you about these issues, but I want to give you a chance to address the Abraham Accords. This is a stated agenda item for the incoming Trump administration. They would like to see peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia. Of course, one of the preconditions that Saudi Arabia has set so far is for a two-state solution for a Palestinian state. How do you, as a Deputy Foreign Minister, how do you plan to deal with this challenge?
Look, I think that many of the Arab countries around the world, after seeing this last year, and the Palestinians, and the way they correspond with Hamas and what had happened, there were many realizations in the Arab world in regards to the Palestinians, including certain declarations. They may have been, might be subtle, but some have even declared that they will not jeopardize their own future, or they will not commit suicide for the Palestinian cause, because they understand that there are far bigger issues than that. Israel's not, for years and years, Israel hasn't been the problem in creating peace and stability in the Middle East. It's the one that's been enforcing and setting a light, an example in the Middle East for peace and stability. Come here to Israel and you see what a diverse community we have with Muslims and Christians and Druze and Cherkess and Bedouin and Jews, and we all live together. Is it perfect? Not. But we're committed to live together in a free and democratic society. And that's a light. So I think that even in regards to certain attitude, we're going to see some change in regards to that as well.
All right, thank you very much. Deputy Foreign Minister Sharon Haskel, my pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Emily.
Thank you to Sharon Haskel and Emily Schrader. And now it's my great honor to introduce the visionary of Friends of Zion, Dr. Mike Evans.
Thank you so much for coming. You know what? The one thing that I noticed about tonight is the word hope. I think you have hope tonight because you know what Donald Trump did for 4 years for you. We evangelicals promised him the presidency if he would do two things for us. We asked for Roe versus Wade, and we asked for Israel. And everything we had on our list, he exceeded. He exceeded. Now I'll tell you, he's going to do it again. You're going to see it again. You're going to see it again on steroids with Donald Trump. You're going to see it. Number one, this year, you'll see the crown jewel happening this year, peace with Saudi Arabia. Donald Trump is going to bring that. You're going to see it. Mark the words down, you're going to see it. And that's a game changer. And I can tell you this, he has absolutely zero tolerance for Hamas terror. He destroyed ISIS, and he took ISIS out. And if Hamas tries to play a game with Israel, the words of Donald Trump will hit them in the face. You will have hell to pay. It will happen. Regarding the peace plan, the Donald Trump peace plan is not land for peace, it's peace for peace. It's a different type of peace plan. And by the way, our new ambassador, and by the way, I want to thank the ambassadors that are here from many countries. God bless you. Mike Huckabee supports sovereignty over Judea and Samaria. And don't think for a second that Donald Trump didn't know that when he chose him. Don't think for a second he didn't know that. He knew all that. So the future is going to be bright. It's going to be bright for you. And there's a lot of draining of the swamp that's going to happen under Donald Trump. A lot of draining of the swamp. You're going to be seeing the Saudis participate Donald Trump will bring them in to assist in draining the swamp in Gaza. You'll see the Emiratis, you'll see the Egyptians, you'll see a lot of Muslims who understands. By the way, President Sisi, I told him when I met him the first time, President Sisi, you saved Egypt from the Muslim Brotherhood that tried to destroy Syria. Fighting terrorism is a human right. So you're going to see a lot of positive things come out of this president, extremely positive things. By the way, don't forget, she's right about we evangelicals. The president still has us. He has us for 4 more years. And not only does he have us, he's got some powerful ones. There was an evangelical on our campus by the name of Pete, who's going to be our new Secretary of Defense. And he has 0 tolerance for Hamas. You have a strong Secretary of State coming in, who was at the Embassy Gala that I hosted, the Embassy Gala. Rubio, incredibly strong. And this president, this is our group. This is the award I gave him, that Shimon Peres commissioned, the Friends of Zion Award. So I want to tell you something. The president will be seeing you. He'll be seeing this event. And Mr. President, I want you to look at your best friends. Israel loves you, Donald Trump. They know what you've done for this nation, and they know what you're going to do. And Mr. President, you've given them hope. They haven't had hope for a very long time, but you've given them hope. God bless you, and thank you so much. You're going to see the inauguration in a way that very few people are going to see it in Washington, D.C., because most of them are not going to get into the Capitol. So you have probably 750,000 people who will not see the inauguration like you're going to see it. So I'm going to stop talking, because we're going to watch this inauguration in just a matter of seconds. So I want to thank everyone for coming. And I know that all of you that are in all the different rooms and that we've set up for this, I know you're jammed in all those rooms. But this is going to be impactful not only for you, but for President Trump, because he's going to see you. He's going to know how strongly the state of Israel and the Jewish people are standing with him and believing in him. God bless you.
Thank you to Dr. Mike Evans. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's turn to the big screen to watch Donald Trump take the oath of office as the 47th President of the United States.
Brett Kavanaugh, again, will be administering the oath.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the same.
And allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
On which I am about to enter.
On which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
welcome Chief Justice Roberts to administer the presidential oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Donald Trump.
President Trump, Kaylee.
Indeed, sworn in as the 47th President of the United States just moments after J.D. Vance was sworn in as Vice President. And, of course, the cannons now going off outside the Capitol in celebration.
Yeah, live look outside the U.S. Capitol in snowy Washington, back inside the rotunda now with a smiling Don Jr. giving his dad a hug, once again sworn in as the President of the United States. His children, Eric and Ivanka, are with him as well. And, of course, this is a big day for J.D. Vance, having just heard his swearing in. Barron Trump is there as well. We're going to start preparing for an inaugural address now, Kaylee, that will come from Donald Trump.
And it is expected that he will move from the rotunda where he has just taken the oath of office to Emancipation Hall elsewhere in the Capitol to deliver that address. All of these proceedings, of course, having been changed by the frigid weather in Washington, which is why for the first time since 1985, Donald Trump took that oath from inside the Capitol rather than from the outside of it. And, of course, after the proceedings inside the Capitol building are done early this afternoon, he will be making his way to Capital One Arena to join supporters who have gathered there to watch these ceremonies today.
Yeah, he's got a long day ahead. This is really just the beginning of it, a day that began at the White House with the Bidens. Donald Trump will make his way to the Capital One Arena after a grand luncheon with lawmakers. And Kaylee, it appears, based on our reporting, he's going to be signing executive orders along the way. Some here in the Capitol, more at the arena, and then potentially more when he gets back to the White House at the end of this day.
And now the Naval Academy Glee Club singing Battle Hymn of the Republic after Donald Trump was sworn in. Of course, there was intending to be more music in these ceremonies today, but with the behind the schedule nature of today's events, it does seem that a few of those musical numbers have been lost in the program.
That's for sure. As we stand by for Donald Trump's speech, we reassemble our signature panel. Bloomberg Politics contributors Rick Davis and Jeannie Shanzano are with us. The oath, of course, is the most important part of the day here, Rick, but the inaugural address is one that will endure for the ages. What will we hear next from Donald Trump?
Well, I think he will dispatch his swift sword in this inaugural address and slay some demons that he believes keeps America from being great again. And yet, I think this idea of piecing together strength and prosperity will be the centerpiece of his speech, and I think that has been pretty much the centerpiece of his campaign. So we're going to hear a lot of what we've heard before in the run-up to this presidential address.
Well, and when we considered the fact that Donald Trump is now standing just across the aisle, literally, Jeannie, from the man who is now a former president, Joe Biden no longer claims the title as commander-in-chief. Donald Trump officially, as of a few moments ago, has taken that over. How sharp a contrast will we see drawn between the last 4 Biden years and the 4 years we are about to experience under Donald Trump?
It's going to be stark. I mean, the number one promise Donald Trump made on the campaign trail was to reverse much of what the Biden administration did. do that as swiftly as he can. And I would also just add what a historic moment Americans have lived through for the last, not just 4, but 8 years, with Donald Trump coming in quite unexpectedly and the cooler reception he got, and then losing his reelection to a president who said he was going to end Trumpism forever, and many Republicans after January 2021 believing that Donald Trump could never make a comeback. And he defeated all those odds. 4 major court cases, popular vote winner, a vice president who was particularly popular on the Democratic side and raised $1 billion. He came back from that all to be only the second non-consecutive president after Grover Cleveland to win and then to be taking this oath today. I mean, it is such a remarkable comeback. It really makes Richard Nixon's comeback look like it wasn't much of a second. But sorry to Richard Nixon. But what a moment Americans have lived through. So, you know, it's hard to just sort of for, I think, historians and all of us, it's hard to really put this all into perspective and what it means. And to your point, your initial point, Kayleigh, the shift in policy we will see will be dramatic, at least as dramatic as Donald Trump is allowed to make it and legally allowed to keep any of those EOs in place and to move this Congress forward.
All right, Jeannie Shanzano and Rick Davis, our signature political panel, are sticking with us, but we want to check back in now with our reporter live at the White House where we find Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall. So, Tyler, as Jeannie is alluding to, we are expecting shortly after these ceremonies at the Capitol wrap up, Donald Trump to sign a whole host of executive orders.
Right, Kayleigh, we still have that Oval Office signing ceremony on the schedule as we expect him to make his way back here later this afternoon. We know that he's planning to focus on 3 big areas, addressing the federal workforce, but as well as immigration and energy policy, those 2 former issues, something that he's also asked Congress to prioritize to tackle. Now, something that we are watching, though, is what we're not expecting him to sign today. Bloomberg News reporting that we should not expect China-specific tariffs. A source familiar telling Bloomberg News that shows Donald Trump's willingness to engage with China when it comes to negotiations instead of going straight to tariffs. We know that President-elect Trump, or now I have to get used to saying President Trump, did engage with Chinese President Xi Jinping last week for a phone call, and in a post on Truth Social, he said that the 2 of them did talk about this idea of rebalancing trade. Now, Bloomberg News had previously reported that Trump's economic team was considering a perhaps more gradual approach to tariffs, 2 to 5% per month, but that no firm deals had been in place. But it's interesting, Joe and Kayleigh, because tariffs have been such a big focal point of Trump's economic plans, but it's also something that hasn't gotten 100% support from congressional Republicans. We heard it come up time and time again during Scott Bessent's nomination hearing on Capitol Hill last week. I was there and I actually spoke with one senator who questioned Bessent about any potential inflationary impacts. That was Senator Todd Young, a Republican from Indiana who represents farmer interests, who said that he had constituents who were concerned about what potential tariffs could mean for inflation and also their bottom line. And I spoke to him afterwards, and he told me that in private meetings with transition officials, they said to expect more selective tariffs. So it's clear that they're trying to address it this way going forward.
Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall at the White House, standing by for Donald Trump, who is now approaching the podium in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda to deliver what is his second inaugural address. Let's listen live on Bloomberg TV and radio.
Thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first. Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world. And America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly. And other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago. Or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn. From weeks ago, without even a token of defense, they're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly. My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over. Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is why each day under our administration of American patriots, we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, and very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states, and the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true. Thank you. Thank you. National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God. Can't do that. Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices. The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill. America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. Let me use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers. In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice. We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our Treasury. coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before. To restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government, my administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America. Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents, something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. This week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies. Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs. President McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. Above all, my message to ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation, and right now our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken. I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. Years in American history. With your help, we will restore America, promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We are going to win like never before. Thank you. Thank you. The United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly. And nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours. And our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
An inaugural address, about 30 minutes in length, delivered by the 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, given inside the Capitol Rotunda, where he took, just about 35 minutes ago, the oath of office. Donald Trump, in this speech, saying he will declare a national energy emergency, a national emergency at the southern border. He will begin an overhaul of trade systems in order to protect Americans, and also touching on what he will describe as an expansion of American territory, saying the U.S. will once again consider itself a growing nation. Really a laundry list of what he intends to do, potentially starting just within the next few hours, Joe, as President of the United States once again.
That's right. Carrie Underwood being introduced now to sing America the Beautiful as part of this entire ceremony, Kaylee, that was running late, so we're going to make up for a couple of things that might have taken place before noon. The golden age of America begins right now, Donald Trump said. This is Liberation Day for American citizens. Interesting to watch. He stuck to the teleprompter pretty closely there in what seemed like...
Yeah, we're going to return the live stream in just a moment.
Soon begin signing executive orders, some of which you just described, before he even leaves this building.
Well, and as you discussed, the former presidents, all 5 of which are here in the Capitol Rotunda alongside Donald Trump, there was only one moment in this address when any of them stood in response to his words, and that was when he was referencing the now-in-place ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas and the return of hostages that has begun, and that was the one visibly bipartisan moment in this speech, which again was just about 30 minutes in length. And we want to get reaction now from our signature political panel, who was listening to it in its entirety. Bloomberg Politics contributors Rick Davis and Jeannie Sheehan Zaino. Rick, just to begin with you, obviously this was longer than the first inaugural address given by Donald Trump back in 2017 and introduced a lot of ideas we were already familiar with here. What were your takeaways?
Yeah, really, no surprises. I think that he used a device that was important to him on the campaign trail throughout the year, and he employed it here, and that was he had to create a little bit darkness for him to bring in the light. And so even though he declared America's decline is over as of now, right? And I don't think there's anybody who would probably claim that America is a country in decline, but he needs that device in order to say, now we're entering the golden age. And I think that the things that he talked about were pretty much what we've heard. But I think the one thing which is particularly interesting is this notion where our territorial borders aren't set. Yep. That he talked about manifest destiny. You know, the 1850s, you know, America looked to the west and create new lands. And he didn't say Greenland, but it sure sounded like there was some Greenland and Canada and other things like that. But then he said space, and that we are going to actually, you know, be space travelers. And of course, you saw Elon Musk giving it the thumbs up, you know, in the crowd. So I think this is a pretty expansive agenda beyond the things that typically we heard of. This idea that somehow America is going to expand its territory, especially as it relates to the Panama Canal. He made a pretty declarative statement that that's ours and we're taking it back.
We're taking it back. That was a remarkable moment as well, referring to the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. We heard that was coming as well from Donald Trump himself. But Jeannie Sheehan Zaino, he talked about his recent election as a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal.
We were hoping to hear Carrie Underwood, but that didn't happen. I would sing, but then I think this event would be over very quickly. So, what a speech. What an incredible evening. I want to now turn your attention back to the screen for another special video from the incoming U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Reverend Mike Huckabee.
Greetings from Washington, D.C., where Donald Trump is soon to be inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States. For many of us, this is a wonderful moment of history, as a president will come back into office, having been in office 4 years ago and having done more for Israel than any president in American history. It is my hope and my prayer that in this second term for President Trump, it will be historic in bringing a new level of security and peace to the people of Israel and peace throughout the region. This is a real possibility because of the strength of this president. And I personally am honored to have been asked to serve as ambassador to the state of Israel. I hope the Senate confirmation will go smoothly and quickly. But it's a process that I respect and must go through. After that, I look forward to posting in Jerusalem at our embassy, an embassy that was moved to Jerusalem by President Trump. There are great challenges ahead, not just here in the United States, but for people all over the world, and especially for those in Israel. And it's one of the reasons that I'm looking forward to urgently getting on the mission and being able to be a part of what I hope will be historic opportunities to bring peace, security, and great opportunity. Thank you so much for the prayers that you have prayed for President Trump and for all the members of his administration. And let us move forward to our best days here in the United States and across the world.
And now we have a short pre-recorded message from ILTV's executive editor, Maayan Hoffman, who is currently in Washington at the inauguration.
Hello and welcome to tonight's event. I'm Maayan Hoffman, executive editor at ILTV, and I want to thank the ministers, honored speakers, and distinguished guests for making this evening so special. For those unfamiliar with ILTV News, we are Israel's leading English-language news channel, featuring, among our other programs, a 30-minute daily news show that delivers the most important updates about Israel. Broadcast on 11 TV stations across North America and beyond, ILTV News is also the English-language video platform for Ynet News. Our thriving YouTube channel reaches around 9 million unique viewers each month. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Mike Evans and the Friends of Zion Museum for this incredible partnership. I've had the privilege of knowing Mike for several years. I vividly remember meeting him for the first time at the King David Hotel. I walked into the suite attached to his room and thought, wow, he is so tall. But over time, I've come to realize that Mike is not just tall in stature, but in character. When he sets his mind to doing good for Israel or the Jewish people, he makes it happen. He's connected to some of the most influential people in the world, yet he remains humble, kind, and somehow I now consider him a very good friend. Tonight's event is significant. It's not about Republican or Democrat politics. It's about celebrating the inauguration of a leader that the majority of Israeli citizens supported. According to the Israel Democracy Institute, more than 70% of Israelis believed that Donald Trump was the better candidate for Israel. And so certainly, for Israelis, there is reason to celebrate tonight. As a journalist, it's not my place to tell you whether Trump is or isn't the right choice. What I can tell you is that those who stand behind him, particularly the evangelical Christians represented by Mike and the Friends of Zion Museum, are among Israel's greatest allies. These are people who read the Bible and believe in the Jewish rights to live in the land of Israel. For decades, I've been covering and engaging with the evangelical community, especially in the last 10 years. These are people who truly support Israel, who stand by us, and after the horrors of October 7th, continue to raise funds, visit Israel, and advocate for us through faith-based diplomacy and on social media. Israel has faced one of its most harrowing years, a year so challenging that the words difficult or challenging actually fall short in capturing its magnitude. But there is hope. Recent events certainly signal change, and tonight we celebrate a new chapter. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy the event.
And we have one final video for tonight. So I'd like to turn your attention back to the screen for a special video message from the former U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mr. David Friedman.
Congratulations to our 47th president and my dear friend, Donald J. Trump. The people of Israel love you and respect you. They're grateful for all you have done for the state of Israel in your first term, of course, moving our embassy to Israel's eternal holy capital, undivided capital, Jerusalem, recognizing Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, advancing the Abraham Accords, peace agreements between Israel and its Arab neighbors that did not require Israel to surrender not even an inch of its God-given land. The people of Israel, the Jewish people, are grateful. And now, as you re-enter the position, as you re-enter the Oval Office, it's been an incredibly difficult period for the Jewish people, for the state of Israel. Israel's been fighting a war on 7 fronts with brutal, implacable foes. It's been winning. It's been winning miraculously, dramatically, courageously. But that war continues, and there's another war brewing at home and throughout the world, domestically and throughout Europe and the rest of the world. Anti-Semitism has reached levels unseen since the Holocaust. Mr. President, my friend Donald Trump, you are undoubtedly the right man at the right time, the man chosen by God to help deliver salvation to the Jewish people, to help strengthen the state of Israel, and of course, to make America again the greatest country on earth. We wish you Godspeed, health, happiness, joy from your family, and of course, abundant success as you take on this most important job anywhere in the world. Thank you, Mr. President, and good luck, Mr. President.
And now for our final discussion of the evening, we're honored to welcome our distinguished panelists, Fleur Hassan Nahum, Special Envoy for Innovation at the Foreign Ministry, Ellie Pipers, International Relations Director at the Israel Defense and Security Forum, Hazam Al-Gabra, former Senior Advisor of the U.S. Department of State, Cory Bardash, Co-Chair of Republicans Abroad Israel, and Emily Schrader, ILTV News Anchor. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage. So welcome. Can you hear me? Yeah. What a night, huh? So I want to hear your first reactions, to the speech that Donald Trump gave at his inauguration. How does it feel to be part of this special night? And, initial reactions to what you've just seen. So why don't we start with you?
So I would say when I heard President Trump speaking, I think that we are in a term of MAGA, make America a great ally again. Not to say that everything that President Biden did was not good, but I think there is a new sense, there's a directness in the approach, there is his voice is something that I think is quite different, and I think it'll make a huge difference in Israel's relationship with both its allies and its adversaries.
Emily, same question.
So hi, everyone. I am a fill-in. I wasn't supposed to be on this panel. Unfortunately, Ruth Wasserman was not able to attend, but I'm happy to give you a few insights anyway. Of course, that was amazing to see. It's amazing to see another president reaffirming the U.S.-Israel relationship, taking a very strong stance on national security issues, whether it be the American border or internationally. And I think that's most of what applies to us here on the ground inside of Israel. But very, very exciting times, and I think we have better days ahead.
Wow, what a speech. I think that President Trump this time around knows exactly what he wants to do. He doesn't have the burden of having to run for re-election. He has both houses. He has the popular vote as well as the college, the electoral college, which means he really won by a landslide. And he has good people around him, but I was speaking to Dr. Mike Evans earlier, and I'm always concerned about influences around the president, because thankfully he has the right type of influences, and thank God he has the evangelical community firmly behind him, knowing he knows he owes his victory to the evangelical community. It's very clear when he mentioned God, and he brings God into every single conversation, and even his policies that he's going to bring forward. And that gives me a lot of hope that it's going to be way better for the Jewish people in the state of Israel.
What a night. For us who worked for Trump or worked on the campaign, it's a great moment. But if I want to bring this whole thing down to one word, it's values. We're going back to our normal values in the United States, and our apologies for the past 4 years. We seemed confused, and we were, at least from the government side. The people were not, but the government was quite confused, and we're back to our shared values. Shared values. No country in this region shares values with the U.S. the way Israel does. We have partners, we have friends, we have allies, but nobody shares values the way Israel does with its American friends. And to steal a phrase from the U.S. Revolution, this will defend.
It was quite extraordinary to see President Trump get reaffirmed and swear in. It was an enormous political comeback. The drama of the the first administration, the last 4 years, and for him to win so decisively is extraordinary. And I agree with the other panelists that his voice was, it seemed so, the things he was saying was so obvious and so common sense, and yet was missing from the national discourse over the last 4 years. So it's hopefully very exciting and hopeful time over the next 4 years.
Absolutely. Now, in his speech, Trump said that he wanted to be a peacemaker. And, we know that the Abraham Accords are now back on the table. Saudi normalization is back on the table. And there's already been leaks that Trump and the Saudi Crown Prince are discussing the criteria for normalization. Fleur, I want to turn to you. Do you believe this will happen? And what are the next steps that, what would this process look like, essentially?
Well, I definitely think that it's going to happen in this administration. I'm hoping it'll happen in the next year, but let's not be greedy. But it definitely is going to happen for one main reason. The Saudis want a defense pact with the United States. And Trump is going to triangulate that with peace with Israel. And the difference between having a peace deal now with Saudi as opposed to a year ago is that the price Israel is going to pay now is lower than the price we would have had to have paid a year ago. Because what I believe is that the Saudi condition of Palestinian statehood wasn't really a Saudi condition. It was a Biden administration condition, which they shoved down the throats of the Saudis, who really don't care that much about it, but they need a process for the Muslim world and the Arab world and their own public. And so as long as there's a process, or as long as there's something going on, I think that we can move forward. And I think that once we have even a sign that there's going to be peace with Saudi, you're going to get countries like Indonesia making peace with Israel also pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. And, there's also the potential of an Israeli strike against Iran on the table. If Israel were to attack Iran, it would likely have to do so relying on U.S. weapons. So I want to ask Ellie and, of course, Emily about this. Ellie, we'll start with you. Do you envision the U.S. taking a direct role in any strike on Iran or solely providing Israel with the necessary tools? And how imminent could a potential strike be?
I think President Trump has made it clear that he wants to end wars. He doesn't want to start wars. The way to end the war is to culminate this war in Iran. There's just no other way around it. I think that's something that his team understands very, very clearly. And I do think that the Trump administration will come together, will build a coalition, and that will lead the necessary attack on Iran.
Emily. I agree with that sentiment. I think that it's very likely that the Trump administration will deal with it. We did hear him say he wants to be a peacemaker. He wants to be a unifier. But the reality is that you can't have unity and peace when you have the Islamic Republic of Iran still in control, terrorizing 80 million people inside of Iran, as well as the entire Middle East, Muslims, Jews, Christians alike. There is no peace until that regime falls. And I think that Trump understands this, and I think more importantly that his administration understands this. We really want to see peace in this region. We want to see the progression of the Abraham Accords with different countries around this region, including, by the way, Iran. We want the Cyrus Accords. That's not going to happen until this regime falls, and President Trump knows that.
Absolutely.
Can I add a quick phrase?
Yes, go ahead.
So, I was at the department when the JCPOA happened. We've tried every size and color carrot with the Iran regime. Time for a stick. It's obvious. We've tried everything else. So a nice 30,000-pound stick may do the job.
So, Hazem, I want to continue with you, and I want to turn now to the recent developments in Syria as well. Do you think there's any potential for some positive news perhaps emerging from this region? And do you see any possibility of improved relations between Syria and Israel? And also sort of with Turkey's influence now in the region, how might Trump's policies address all of these challenges while addressing and strengthening Israel's security?
So let me talk about what I've been doing the past couple of weeks. Y'all need to realize Israel is a regional superpower right now. It cannot wait or should not wait for Turkey, should not wait for the Al-Shara or HTS, see what they want to do, or even the United States. Israel should take the lead at this point with strength. Again, it's a regional superpower. No other country in the region has a nuclear arsenal, a stealth fleet, and knows how to win wars, except Israel. So now it's time to tell Syria what Israel wants and needs. There is a clear victory by Israel in this region. Time to reap the benefit of victory. Something we Americans are very good at. Would love to see you be as good at it, especially economically. Syria, 10 million farmers potentially. It's an agrarian country. My training is as an economist. I've been to your supermarkets. Ain't cheap here. Food is not cheap. Maybe peace with Syria will help that at least. I've been working on that, and I appreciate your support toward peace with Syria. And again, don't wait for Turkey. Israel is a regional superpower. Please remember that.
Now, Corey, turning to you, Trump is considered one of, if not the most pro-Israel presidents in U.S. history. Yet there are still some concerns. Should Israelis worry about his commitment, especially if, shifting priorities arise?
It's a good question, but I think we have to remember that a strong America means a strong Israel. And a very strong Israel strengthens America as well. And that there are many, many issues that America and Israel are aligned on. And the issues are highly correlated. It could be economic issues, it could be security for America issues. And so in the event that there's any potential considerations that America and every country has to follow its own needs, Israel will have to actually be very conscious of it. It could be with how America deals with Qatar. It could be how any potential future deal with the Palestinians. Israel should be in front of the issue, deal with it with America. But as was stated earlier, Israel is a regional superpower. It has its needs, but ultimately the relationship with America is one of mutual correlation and alignment.
I just want to add something really quick to that.
Go ahead.
Is this on? Yes, it's on. What you said is absolutely correct about what's good for Israel is good for the United States and vice versa. But I would go even further than that. It's really important to remember that a strong America is strong for the entire world, is strong for other democracies, is strong for a free Middle East. Because if United States is not stepping up to that leadership role, there is a power vacuum. And that is filled by China, it's filled by Russia, it's filled by Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, and it's filled by other dictatorships that seek to oppress other people, to limit freedoms of speech, to limit the values that Israel and America hold dear. So having America be strong is important really for the entire world.
Absolutely. Now, Corey, I also want to ask you about anti-Semitism in the United States. It's at its worst levels, not only in the United States, but around the world. Do you think that Trump can undo the damage that's been done in the United States? And, what concrete steps can or should his administration take to combat this phenomenon?
Well, anti-Semitism's been around for many years and will continue. In fact, I saw a poll today, the Harvard-Harris poll, that 21% of Americans are pro-Hamas when they're polled versus Israel. Anti-Semites they view a green light when America is weak. President Trump has strongly condemned all forms of anti-Semitism. He's already invoked and said in practical steps that he intends to look at the accreditation of a lot of the campuses, because that's where the anti-Semitism is coming from, and federal funding. Marco Rubio, the new incoming Secretary of State, very commonsensically said that somebody cannot come into the U.S. if they are pro-Hamas. Once they come into the States, and if they're on the college campuses, they're not as citizens, they have to be deported immediately. So I would say that when it comes to anti-Semitism, strong American leadership, that it's coming from the top down, those anti-Semites around the world will take heed and be much more careful in what they allow in their own streets.
May I add a point?
Go ahead.
I'm not Jewish. I grew up in Syria, actually, and Muslim family. However, coming here, I've discovered that anti-Semitism is a global crime. It's not only a crime against the Jewish people. Yes, Jewish people are the ultimate victim, but the lie, the fraud on the mind, the poisoning of the mind, makes me a victim as well, and makes everybody else a victim when they're told lies and they're told to hate somebody. They don't even see. You know, I am, and a proud one. And wait till the end of this conversation. I think you like the ending.
I have to say I'm slightly disappointed he didn't say anything in his speech about anti-Semitism or even about college campus hatred and the influence of the poison of jihadi culture. Little disappointed, but we have to judge the man by his deeds and not his words, and Bezat Hashem, he'll do the right thing.
Absolutely. Now, Ali, I have one last question for you, and then I want to turn to the whole panel. You know,
let me give a comment.
Oh, go ahead.
Anti-Semitism.
Absolutely.
He gave me the pen that he signed the legislation against anti-Semitism on college campuses. He gave me the pen that he signed it with. He did it on Hanukkah. So he's 100% on board with what you're saying. Obviously,
I said let's judge him by his deeds.
Yeah.
It would have been nice. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It would have been nice.
Obviously, he had a ton of stuff to put into this message.
Yes.
But you can be sure of one thing. He gets that message.
Well, if you're telling him that message, then I'm not worried.
Never again.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
anti-Semitism, anti-Hashem, against God. That's right.
all right, so Ellie, I want to talk now a little bit about sovereignty over Judea and Samaria. I think Dr. Evans said in his speech that President Trump knew exactly what he was doing when he appointed Reverend Mike Huckabee to be Israel's ambassador. So if Israel wants to achieve sovereignty over Judea and Samaria under a Trump administration, how do you think the country should navigate this?
It's a great question. And I think that one of the things, as Mike was saying, Trump has nominated a lot of people who have a tremendous appreciation, understanding of the significance of Judea and Samaria to the Jewish people's identity as well as to the security of Israel. Pete Hegseth, who's going to be the new Defense Secretary, Marco Rubio, and then to Flora's previous comment, one action that he did is he nominated Elise Stefanik to be the UN ambassador, someone who has a tremendous understanding of the challenges on campuses, someone also who has spent quite a bit of time in Judea and Samaria. The people he has around him have that understanding. I think what Israel needs to do, first of all, is make sure it's clear and that the Palestinian Authority is a threat to Israel's security. They see that more and more. And when they start looking at what are the alternatives, it's establishing that Israel should fill the vacuum and establish sovereignty in that region. How to do so in a way that is consistent with U.S. interests is something that should be worked out and should be handled properly. But Trump likes strong allies. And when Israel knows what it wants to do, it should put its foot forward firmly and then make it clear what they want to do, but should not be ambiguous in what it wants.
Absolutely. All right, so final thoughts. Let's hear some final thoughts from all of you. If you could ask Trump to prioritize one thing for Israel during his presidency, what would it be and why?
Back to me.
Go ahead.
I would say I think the most important thing for them right now is to make it clear that Hamas must absolutely need to be destroyed, and that Israel needs to stay in Gaza as long as necessary to ensure that Hamas cannot come back. If that becomes clear, I think we're in a very good situation.
I don't think anyone who knows me would be surprised to hear me say that my number one ask from President Trump, if you can hear me, President Trump, this is especially to you, regime change in Iran. It's the only solution in the region. It's the only path to peace in this entire equation with the war we're facing now.
I have to second Emily. I mean, I'll add another one just because I'm greedy. But basically, he has to understand that the Nazis of today are the Islamic Republic of Iran. And we can fight Hamas and we can fight Hezbollah and we can fight the Houthis and we can fight everyone. But we're playing whack-a-mole unless we get rid of the head of the snake. We're just going back and going back and going back. The second thing I would want, I'm sorry, I'm asking for the second thing, is to extend the Abraham Accords like we mentioned, but also to show some love to the countries who signed the Abraham Accords. I think in the Biden administration, they like to talk about it, but they didn't show love. They didn't show the UAE. Why is a U.S. military base in Qatar and not in the UAE? I don't understand it.
Yeah, I would also say why ask for one thing. There is great momentum today to accomplish a lot, solve issues that have been lingering for 50 years. Let's get behind that momentum. Let's take care of Iran. Obviously, we've all seen the videos coming out of Gaza yesterday. It's unacceptable. We need to go back to the one thing we agreed on October 7th, or after October 7th. Hamas cannot survive in Gaza or anywhere else. People want us to forget this? No. They can do like the little parade and jump on ambulances the way they do, but we will not forget the mutual agreement, American and Israeli, that Hamas has no future after October 7th.
I anticipated if I was the last one, I would want to say something different. But I obviously agree with what everybody said here. And there are a million issues, right? There's Iran. There's extending the normalization with Saudi Arabia. There's the ICC, the ICJ. There's sanctions against Israeli citizens. There's ensuring Israel's borders are secure. But the angle I wanted to take is that America and Israel should have reestablished its relationship, not predicated on the fact that Israel is a client state of America, but it's a strong partnership with America, and it's mutually beneficial to both. When I was thinking that, I remembered a quote, but maybe some of the older folks here might remember. It was said by Alexander Haig, who was then the Secretary of State under Reagan. And he said that Israel is the largest American aircraft carrier in the world that cannot be sunk, does not carry even one American soldier, and is located in the critical region for American national security. So with that said, with this administration, with the people around President Trump, that we're not seeking help, but it's a real partnership that we could accomplish all the things that we intend to accomplish.
All right, thank you so much to our distinguished panel for this intriguing discussion. Thank you so much. All right, well, what a night. It's given us plenty to think about, but now it's time to celebrate. And before we end, I'd like to invite once again Dr. Mike Evans to the stage.
We've got some fabulous celebration to do in a moment, but I want to make a note to you about something important for you to know. I go back to Menachem Begin's era. And when Menachem Begin was prime minister, he told me something. He told me that Israel was a proxy of the United States. And I said to him, what does that mean? He said, Israel's responsibility is to deter communism in this region. And America does not want to come into the Middle East to deter communism. So we are, in essence, a proxy. Now, Donald Trump will not come into the Middle East to fight any wars. He was opposed to the Iraq War, Afghanistan War. But Israel is a proxy of the United States to deter radical Islam. So what you're going to get from Donald Trump is you're going to get the full support of the United States of America in dealing with the head of the snake. You'll get his support. 100%. You've never had it before, by the way, with any other president, but you'll get his support for dealing with that, and it's going to be significant. I want us to do something. We're going to have music right now, but Yehuda, come up here before we have the music. I want us to join hands, and I'm going to ask my dear friend to lead us in a prayer for the president. And I want you to include in the prayer the Aaronic blessing. So I want you to pray it in Hebrew for the president.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha Ya'el Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha Anai, nai, 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 Shalom.
Thank you.
Allow me to add one more word. They spoke about the one thing we want to see Donald Trump bringing into. I think the concept of God is one very important thing we want to see on the table, and it includes the friendship between Israel and the evangelical community be strengthened and stronger than ever before. And Zion, we're friends of Zion. Zion, the mountain of God, be a house of prayer for all nations.
Amen. Let's celebrate. Wonderful. I heard you have some procedure. Oh, it's great.
Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, 'cause you're new in town. There's no be happy, young man. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there, and I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's, yeah, YMCA, YMCA. There's everything. YMCA, it's fun to stay at the YMCA. You can get yourself clean, you can have a good meal, you can do what you're ever feel. Young man, I said, young man, what did you want to be? I said, young man, you can million good dreams, but you're good to me. No man does it by himself. I said, young man, put your pride in the shelf and just go there. in the YMCA. I'm sure they can help you today. It's fun to stay at the Y. Opa! It's fun to stay at the Y. Opa! You have everything for a young man to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, almost heaven. West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty days of moonshine, they drive in my eye. Oh, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather around her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Okay, misty days, the moonshine, hey time, they drive in my eye. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Sing with us, let's go! Country road, take me home to the place. Congratulations, Donald! Oi, 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 West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, now listen to this. שביל עפר, קח אותי אל נופי ילדותי, אל אוהל אברהם אבינו. שביל עפר, קח אותי, let's go. Country road, take me home, take me home to the place, to the place I belong. West Virginia, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. Oh, take me home, country road. Oh, take me home, country Baruch Adon Adoshem Elokeinu melech haolam Sheheyanu Vekiyemanu Vekiyanu Lasman Hazeh Sheheyanu Vekiyemanu Vekiyanu Lasman Hazeh Sheheyanu Vekiyemanu This is the house of the Lord. We wish the best for you. This is the house of the Lord. We wish the best for you. Leman achai ve're'ai, leman achai ve're'ai, adabrana, adabrana, shalom ba, leman achai ve're'ai, leman achai ve're'ai, adabrana, adabrana, shalom ba, leman beit Hashem Elokeinu, avak shatov lam. 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 Because of my brothers and friends, because of my sisters and friends, please let me ask, please let me seek peace to you. Because of my brothers and friends, because of my sisters and friends, please let me ask, please let me seek peace to you. Oh, this is the house of the Lord. I wish the best for you. This is the house of the Lord. We wish the best for you. This is the house of the Lord. We wish the best for you. Leman beit Hashem Elokeinu, Ava Shatov La. Leman beit Hashem Elokeinu, Ava Shatov La. Hashem Yeshuvun Uba'u Tzion Berina. V'dui 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 Hashem